Now, let's take the whole story back to the time of Saddam Hussein. Now, Saddam Hussein has been much maligned for his involvement in inhumane activities of his armies, especially against his rebels. Now, he has been adequately punished for what he did as well. But I'll touch this point a bit later in this video as well. But let's talk about the former Iraqi president Saddam Hussein, the businessman. He was an intelligent man who knew when the whole world's oil is in Middle East, why shouldn't the whole Middle East group together, lobby, and dictate the oil prices globally? That's what he wanted to do. And that was what the Western oil lobbies didn't want to happen. And that's the whole reason behind the whole Gulf War, which subsequently led to terrorism. Now, Saddam Hussein nearly managed to convince his friends in Middle East that they should get more share out of the oil market. Now he wanted to increase the crude oil price. So that would have decreased the margin of the Western oil companies. It's very simple. An ordinary man like me and yourself, ordinary people, we can't afford petrol at exorbitant prices. We can only pay to a certain extent for oil. If the oil prices shoot too up, it will upset our budget and we'll either stop using our own transport and start using public transport, or simply we won't buy that much oil, which is, the thing is that the oil companies, they will start losing money because not many people will be buying oil simply because it's too pricey for them. So to make sure that people buy the oil prices will have to be kept low, and that would have decreased the margin of profit for the Western oil companies, simply because if they are getting crude oil at a higher price and they cannot sell the refined oil at a bigger price, their margin of profit will decrease. To break the deadlock that Saddam Hussein was creating, the Western oil lobbies, they used Kuwait as a puppet. Kuwait played the spoilsport by dropping the crude oil prices, which led to the breakdown of oil lobby that Saddam Hussein was developing. Saddam Hussein asked Kuwait to toe the line, but when Kuwait didn't agree, Iraq invaded Kuwait, and that was the biggest blunder that Saddam Hussein committed. That gave America a reason to invade Iraq. And the rest, as they say, is history. But friends, Iraq wasn't invaded because Kuwait was invaded by Iraq. Think of it. How many times have Israel invaded Palestine? Why doesn't America invade Israel? Just because Israel is America's ally doesn't mean that it has got free hand and it can do anything with Palestinians. They don't invade Israel because it's invading Palestine. Why Iraq? Simply because it was in oil lobby's interest, and oil lobby was one of the biggest money provider to the governments around the globe for elections. Not the governments, to the political parties for the elections. And of course, I'm sure the politicians world over must have been getting some sort of kickbacks as well. And that's why the whole Iraq war was staged. And since that Iraq war happened, people who wanted revenge for that Iraq war but who couldn't have fought equally with the West powers, they took to terrorism. And that's the whole truth. Now, whatever happened with Iraq, that changed the course of the next 2 decades that we have lived in. Terrorism led to more repercussions from Western powers, which led to more terrorism against the people of Western powers. Thanks to the oil lobby, none of us can visit half of the world because it's no more a safe place for any of us. That's how much they have damaged the whole world for us. You need to understand, the people you are fighting, they are the ones who don't yield just because you put a gun to their head. They are the ones who will rather say that, look, mate, you can kill us, but we are not gonna bow to you. More attack on them will cause more repercussions. They are the people who will happily die. Even when they know that they are fighting a war, they are going to lose, they'll still prefer to die because it's a question of their honor and dignity. Their honor and dignity has been robbed and humiliated by the Western powers. And all this at the behest of oil lobby and gun lobby. We need to wake up to what's happening, people. We need to stop before these shrewd businessmen who are neither Christians nor Muslims, who only care for money, they ruin the whole world for us. I'll see you in the next video.